That was the sound of a chocolate egg opening. Of course it was. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How we doing, boys and girls? Good morning. Yeah, I kind of made that. I made that image last week, but then I decided I was going to take a few days off over Easter, and a few days turned into nearly a week. But I thought I'd use the image anyway because it was quite funny. But good morning, boys and girls. How we doing? Are we all well? Reset day again today. I got basically nothing done last week, which was quite funny. For the first time in, flipping hell, like months. I didn't actually even log into the game for almost 5 days, which for me is kind of wild. But I think Noblegarden's up. I don't actually know if there's anything new for Noblegarden this year, but I thought it'd be worth to have a little poke around, have a little bit of an explore. You can usually tell if there's anything new based on the achievements, can't you? World events, Noblegarden. There may or may not be anything new on this list. There actually isn't. There's a possibility that they've done nothing for Noblegarden. That said, there's a strong possibility that the, what do you call them, the black tuxedo pants you can get Noblegarden. Made some cash money off those. Are you growing a bit? No, I just haven't shaved. The wife's not here, so I just haven't been bothered to shave. It's quite as simple as that. It's not, it's not by design. You take a few days off and you just kind of wallow. The wife's not here to complain about the fact that I haven't had a shave, so I just haven't. Quite simple. Yeah, the black tuxedo pants, though, come from Noblegarden, and they're cash money. I think black tuxedo pants. Yeah, these things look stupid expensive. You can sell these all year long. I can't put my finger on exactly. I don't have my sales data on these, but if I loaded up my other accounts, I probably would have access to it. But I'm pretty sure I sold like, probably 5, 6, 7, maybe even as many as one or two of these a month, I think. But I didn't have that many of them, so I might farm up some of these. I think these come from Noblegarden, don't they? They come out the... Do they not come out the chocolate egg things from the event thing? I can't remember. I have a vault to go and explore as well in a minute. Grow it out, give it a go. No, I tend not to like it. My facial hair is super patchy. It's just pure laziness at the moment. That's literally all it is. Goldson's quitting the game. Does the day end in Y? Doesn't Goldson quit the game every other week? I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure he quits the game and then he's like, I enjoy playing this game, and then he starts playing it again. We'll see. We'll see. Whatever he chooses, best wishes to him, though. Feels like I lost this reset day. It seems like all the markets are down 15 to 30%. It's I think we've hit the hump. I genuinely do think we've hit the hump now. I think we have hit the hump. The obviously the race to world first is donezo now, isn't it? The race to world first's over. So I think we'll see most of the markets go into stabilization mode for a little bit. But all of the shenanigans that happens every week might start to calm down a little bit now. I think the resetting of markets and the explosive Wednesday opportunities might be a little bit more chill from this point on, I reckon. I think we're kind of we're over the crest, I think, of the season launch, I think. Starting the week strong, you got your Biss Myth Track shoulders in the vault, broke 55 mil and made 5 mil profit in a month. You're absolutely killing it, my mate. Well done. Well done. That's I need to go check the vault, see what's in it. I should have slightly more in the vault. I did a bunch of stuff last Wednesday. Enough to fill the vault, I think. I'll have a little look at the Noblegarden stuff though, as we're here. There's a load of quests and dailies and stuff, isn't it? I can't remember what they are. Let's get those loaded. We'll go and have a poke around at those in a minute. Where's the vault then? What's in here? What's in here? What's in here? What we got then? Hero neck. 'Tis an upgrade. Hero trinket. Withered raptors. Withered saptor's paw. Crits have a chance to stir the void, granting you a bunch of agi. I love how the fact that this thing's got a market value of 1.1 million gold. I don't know how that's possible, but sure. And a hero upgrade to the helm that we already have. Ooh. That's an interesting one. There's either an upgrade on the tier of our set. A trinket if it ends up being any good. Any of those three would probably do. Any of those three are a step in the right direction, I would guess. I don't know so much about the trinket, but haste is always good to come by at this point in the expansion. I don't know. I've always said it. I hate trinkets in this game. You know, I never know if a trinket is what I'm really after or not. Okay, any one of those three would work. I need to go do my nightmares. My delves, get all that sort of stuff out of the way. But I think I might wait to do this. I'm not in any rush. Out of curiosity, what else did we get from here? Random ass rubbish. Set gloves. Weirdly. I did the unspeakable. I did the unspeakable, didn't I, last week? Which was choose to not get my 4-piece set in favour of getting hero tracks set. Because that would then basically last out the season, didn't I? Alright, well, we'll come back to that in a bit. I want to go poke around Noblegarden for a bit. I really am kind of going to work my way back into the game. Very chill. Very, very chill. Very chill. We'll ignore the billion motes in my bags for now. Very, very chill. He's back from the race to world first. Did you clear the myth raid already? Did you hear that there was a bit of a rumour that Echo were going to sell world second?
Will defend what remains.
I answer to the light.
What are we going to pick up here? Prey, Battlegrounds, the Assault, or the Arcantina? Well, we're going to do a few preys anyway. Complete prey hunts. What's this one? Nexus Point. Okay, we're not doing any of this. I want to go poke around Noblegarden. Off to Ogramar. Where are the portals? They're this way, aren't they? Yeah, really going to work my way back into the game in a chill way. I realised the other day that I've basically been blasting this game since... I mean, for so long I can't even think straight, honestly. The, why is it trying to take me to Valdraken? Hello? Yeah, I've been blasting this game for so goddamn long right now. We need to go back into chill mode a little bit. It's all got a touch too serious. It's all got way too serious for my liking. The the chill, relax atmosphere from the stream and from the game seems to have disappeared a bit. I've always said that this game is like retail is basically arcade mode, and it's meant to be that you can just like blast it for a bit, but then chill out. But I seem to have done a really poor job of the chill out aspect in recent months. So I wanted to. Is Noblegarden not on? Have I made this up here? We missed it. Noblegarden begins. Noblegarden ends next week. Just doesn't seem to be. I just swore there's meant to be like Easter decorations and stuff knocking about. But yeah, we need to get back into more chill vibes a little bit. It's all got way too serious for my liking. And serious for a while is fine, but you know, we need to make sure that we don't cook ourselves playing this game, honestly. Whole race is about money. Money they pay others to gear them up, money they get from the investors, money they make from the event, and so on. Well, I hate to tell you, but money is kind of what makes the world go round these days. Relatively difficult to get away from that. And if there is money to be had doing something, somebody will take money. Do not appreciate the modern approach to the top-end racing. It's just another way of making money, no soul behind it. I did hear Max talking a lot more this race. An awful lot more this race. About how that they were trying not to go dark because it doesn't look good for their sponsors. And that did kind of like scream, oh, okay, there's a lot of money riding behind this. But of course there is. Like, that shit's not cheap. Just think how much it, you know, think how much the race to world first actually costs to do properly. You've got an entire production team working 24 hours a day for over 2 weeks straight. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's $500,000. Like that's going to be crazy money. You've got, you know, all of the players need to be able to take 2 weeks out. Now, excluding Max and like, you know, excluding some of the big guys who have big streams and are big personalities all in of themselves. You know, those guys make a living off streaming anyway. But a lot of the other players probably don't make all that much money at all in between races. Their stream viewership and wages they maybe get paid to do. I mean, it is literally their job. Like, you can't get away from that fact. Finally in the green, entered midnight with 28 mil liquid, but then spent a few mil. Went -10, now back at 30, plus 7 mil in stock on the auction house. Fair play. Good effort. Good effort. I genuinely don't know where I sit, actually. It's difficult, because, well, I mean, technically I'm way down, because I've cashed out, like, 15 million gold, but if I hadn't cashed out 15 million gold, we'd be quite a bit up, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not even bothering to pay too much attention to it. We might do some skidding, we might do some goal making, I don't know. Genuinely just chilling. Took your advice to drop gathering and go work orders for my main professions to fit my player's style, and I'm enjoying myself with it. Seems like over the duration of the expansion, it's going to be profitable for you. Hey, good effort. Well done. Doesn't totally sound like the advice I would have normally given people, but hey, it works. If you're chilling in the city for the most part, then there's no reason to not be like paying attention to who needs stuff crafted, and you know, filling that gap in the market. When do you think I need to stop restocking the blue tools, or are they going to be selling throughout the expansion? There's no shortage of people ever wanting to try and make gold, which will mean there will be no shortage of people ever turning up to the auction house to try and get the job done quickly with a bit of gold. Can't really suspect that. I don't really think there'll be profit margins might get squeezed and might be more difficult on them, but there's no reason to say that they won't be needed. That said, season 1 is all about professions. Season 2 and season 3, it does tail off pretty hard. That seems to be the general rotation of what goes on.
Hello. The dark times will pass.
I need to try and remember where these black tuxedo pant things come from. One of these NPCs or vendors or something. Is it a trade-in for the... I can't remember. Funny thing is we do this literally every single year, and I still can never flip and remember what's going on. I actually think I mean, we might have to turn ATT on to like assess this properly, but I kind of think I might have already maybe possibly completed Noblegarden. It's definitely one of the events that tends to happen often enough at the right time that I've probably spent a bunch of time doing it. Scare the duckity ducks. Quack, quack. I do kind of vividly remember spending hours farming up these eggs. So I have my suspicions that I might have already done quite a lot, if not all of this. But it's another one of those hyper-repetitive tasks that I get bored of so fast. We piece out from the repetitive stuff super fast. It's already, like, what are the hides at, by the way? What are Majestic hides at today? Are they still stupid money? Even those, for example, weren't incentive enough for me to log in and do skinning for the last few days. I kind of really like the fact that the Majestic hide skinning is something that you can work towards and set up, and it's still good money. But on the flip side, I kind of wish it wasn't a daily thing. 9k, okay, they've cratered in value. That's half the number that it was last week, isn't it? I kind of wish it wasn't a daily thing. I kind of wish it was more in tune with like world quests or concentration, where you do it every... I'd rather it be guaranteed, but you only do it every 4 days, than it being a 20% chance, but you have to do it every day. Yesterday there were 12k. I mean, I very strongly believed that they were being hyper inflated anyway. I think the fact that there was solid demand for them meant that goblins just reset them every week. Because the reality is there's not much people can do about it. Oh, well, you say that. They're at 14k, so somebody's clearly already had the same idea. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of them. Look, nearly 7,000 other things now. Over 100 mil of stock. $115 million gold to buy out all the majestic hides. Where are my billionaires at? And one of these, which one of these is the NPC? Sells stuff. You. You haven't collected this appearance. Okay, so there is still some already known. Haven't collected this appearance. There maybe is a few things I need. Black tuxedo pants. Oh. Okay then. Is that maybe why the tuxedo pants are so expensive on the auction house now? Because they've now been made warbound. So you either do the Noblegarden event or you buy... Oh, okay. Maybe that's why they've gone stupid expensive on the auction house. Because these are the bind on equip variations. So where do these come from? I mean, it stands to reason they're hard to get then if they're this money. Now, obviously, your market for these is kind of a bit ropey if you can get the cosmetic during Noblegarden, but... Okay. Where's me Google at? Where's me Google? Ah. This horse... Okay. Okay. When were these changed then? As far as I can tell, this version no longer drops. Don't even know. Well, at some point, oh, okay, this is the old version, which is not available for transmogrification, but is equipable all year long and is tradable. So you can still find it on the auction house. Black Tuxedo Pants is the new version, and they're bind on pickup, now made bind to warbound. You can learn the appearance, but it's only available as a transmog source during the Noblegarden holiday. Despite what it currently says under the contained in tab, it is not available from the brightly coloured eggs anymore. The new one is. Oh, so that's why these are so expensive. These are so expensive because for all intensive purposes, they don't really exist anymore. Interesting. But weirdly, they are still somewhat in demand. Not like today because there's an easy alternative, but other days of the week. Wait, why not? Why is it not finding anything for Black Tuxedo? That'll be why. 390 of them across the EU. Haha, look at the price variation of these. Interesting. Cheapest is still 45k. Oh, okay. So, well, this changes my plans ever so slightly then, because I was going to spend a little bit of time today trying to get myself a bunch of these since Noblegarden, knowing how many of these I've sold over the last year. Now knowing that they basically don't exist anymore, it's it might be a bit of a lost cause. Some of the moats and herbs are going for silvers. Is this okay, or does Blizzard need to add items that suck up those items in the next season? Well, I mean, it was like some materials are going to go to zero. Any material that is a byproduct of getting something that's more valuable will probably go to zero. Blizzard's simplification of the professions has left some pretty gaping holes in how it all interacts. You know, they were going in the right direction. Now, it wasn't perfect. Don't get me wrong, but like they were going in the right direction at least with having you know, quality 2 being quality 1 converting into quality 2 at a 5-to-1 ratio, quality 2 converting into quality 3. They kind of going in the right direction with that. Then adding thaumaturgy on top of it to shuffle items about. This is what I talk about, like thaumaturgy being really good as like naturally balancing stuff. With the great simplification, taking all of that stuff out, it's actually left the markets to be far more volatile than they were before. So anybody that sort of understands how things tick and how things move would actually probably go as far as to say that the markets are less simple now than they were before. That is to say, I don't really think any of this is by design. I really don't think the long-term effects of this is really given much consideration. A telltale sign of that for me is the change to prospecting. The change to prospecting recently to make prospecting give more gems was a head scratcher for me. It's a head scratcher for me because you somewhat know where the direction is going. Yes, high quality gems were expensive. Yes, you didn't get that much ore. Sorry, that many gems from your ore. But at the same time, you need quite literally 1/6 of the amount of materials to make an endgame gem. So it was a 6 of one, half a dozen of another already. Jacking up the amount of gems that turns up is just going to make the gem market way more flooded way faster, and the likelihood of that is that in a couple of weeks' time, most people will even Blizzard might be a bit surprised with how cheap the actual gems get, but we'll see. My theory is that Blizzard intentionally capped how easy it is to make gold with alt armies, and things won't be profitable enough for a token with simple effort. No, like I said, I don't agree with that. I don't really think they put that much thought into it. This is the thing. I'm not overly convinced that Blizzard themselves are metagaming this. I tend to think that they just, they make changes for the sake of making changes. That's very clear to me. They make changes so that they can say that changes have been made, regardless of whether those changes are needed or not. On top of this, I really don't think they put much consideration in the long-term effects of this, because they can always just change it again later. I think is the mindset that Blizzard goes by these days. We don't need to launch something that's well balanced and well thought out, because we can always change it later. And I think that's become a mantra pretty much across all dev teams at Blizzard. Do what's needed to get the content out and then fix it later. Do what needs to be done to get stuff launched every 8 weeks, and then if you need to go in and fix it and change it later, then do so. And then you can prioritize what needs changing and what doesn't. If you try and make it right first time, this isn't this is going to sound like I'm really shilling for Blizzard here, but I'm not. It's almost the opposite. But if you try really hard to get it right first time, you're going to spend 3 or 4 times as much physical time and effort on doing so. Which from a business perspective just isn't that viable anymore, especially not when you're trying to shit out content every 8 weeks. You have to just get it out and then prioritize fixing what's most broken first. So I kind of I really don't think that there's any sort of like real metagaming or malice or much thought that goes into any of this, honestly, from Blizzard themselves. I genuinely think it's players that put 20 times the amount of time and effort into trying to, like, big brain it. Gems is where I lost most today. Well, yeah, it's gonna, gems are gonna have 2 problems right now. A blue post saying that gems are more frequent from prospecting is going to cause 2 things. A, it's going to cause more gems to exist from the existing ore. And B, it's going to cause a bit of a shock because everybody will try and purge and liquidate and cash out, which will not help profit margins, I'd imagine. I would imagine it's pretty spicy to try and make anything with prospecting or jewel crafting as a whole right now. And there'll be knock-on effects of that as well. I would imagine that my guess would be like prisms are probably in the bin as well. Via concentration, you'll find that lots of people who had been concentrating them and have just like been drip feeding them into the markets, or maybe not selling them at all, will have probably, on here of prospecting changes, liquidated and dumped a bunch of stock, which will, cause prices to do loopy things. They didn't focus on the expansions at all, this expansion. On the professions at all, this expansion. No time and housing was their biggest baby in the pillar for this expansion. I bet professions will get a bit more focus for the last Titan. Yeah, this I mean, I play the test versions of this game a lot. Between the alpha and the beta, I can't even begin to put a number to how many hours I probably clocked up on just the alpha and the beta. Which, even whilst it may be difficult to put into words, and it might even be even more difficult to put it into words that, resonate with people. I was saying quite early on that professions are going to be a flash in the pan thing this expansion. The simplification process of them will mean that markets will crash incredibly quickly, incredibly fast. Demand peaks will only last so long, and by the time we step into season 2, it's going to be, real sweaty to extract anything from the crafting professions. real sweaty. And it's hard to sort of pin... And the thing is it's not for one big reason. It's for 20 small little reasons that all compound together to give you the overall feeling that, okay, it's going in this direction. And I probably don't do a very good job of explaining why I think these things are going to happen. But like I said, that process is sometimes hard to do because you can't easily say, okay, if I could say that, you know, this profession is going to go to shit because of this and this only, then, you know, it's a 1+1 situation and people can do the maths on that. But when it's like a whole multitude of factors, it's far more difficult to try and get your point across in a way that it sticks with people. Why do these stack to 18 of all numbers? I need to switch all the things on just to see how many of these I actually need. Let's see. Add-on Purge likely took more development time than expected. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Not only do I think it took a lot more time than expected, I really don't think it's had any sizable effect on gameplay at all. The fact that the big guilds have showcased that they are still going to do, and it is still possible to do 90% of the stuff they could do before, with or without these restrictions in place. Because gamers are going to game, right? That's what these top end players do. They figure shit out. They figure out ways to, you know, it's a cat and mouse game. They're trying to, you know, Blizzard are making changes to try and restrict what they can do, and these players are doing their absolute best to, you know, sidestep these restrictions. The fact that both the big top guilds basically turned up with a carbon copy of Weak Auras, like, it was just kind of like, oh, this hasn't really made any difference at all, has it? Yeah, internally, it's hard to imagine just how much time they spent on it. How much time and effort went into achieving almost nothing. Almost nothing at all. Called it months ago, recycling and the yield of inks were wrong since day one of the beta. Yeah, yields are... I know you were talking about it for a long time. This is why the prospecting change was a head scratcher for me. Because I already thought that the yields were severely not in favor of good prices or profits on things. To come in and make more gems come from the same amount of ore. I guess I don't know, what's the price of ore looking at like right now? I know it's reset day, so it's not probably the best time to be looking at this sort of stuff, but what's the... Yeah, there we go, look. There's 100 gold being shaved off both of these materials now. There's 100 gold being shaved off both silver and tin in respect of the prospecting changes. Which in turn will mean that the gold per hour for mining has probably been reduced from 80k to 50k ish would be my estimation. Now it naturally declines, but you know there's a natural decay of farming value, probably 5 to 10% decay a week anyway. But a prospecting change and possibly crossing the hump of like demand in the season will I mean these numbers are these stock numbers, especially since it's reset day, this is a lot more stock than we've seen in previous weeks, which also makes it far more difficult for goblins to do goblin things. When there's only a small amount of it in existence on the auction house at any one point, it's far more prime for a reset. Once it stacks up even a little bit, it sort of greatly limits the amount of people that could even think about doing a reset.
Let's make sweet
which means those
together.
resets then don't happen, which, you know, puts downward pressure on the price. Purple with a 3-month resub. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. What prospecting change are we talking about? A recent one? It was in the blue posts a few days ago. They simply increased the yield of gems from prospecting. Right now, you have a new gap on players. If you don't have the resources, then you don't have the weak aura like add-ons. It's basically poor versus rich players. It is weird, isn't it? Those that, you know, rely on community-based add-ons to perform as well as they do are the ones that have been affected most by the add-on purge. Yet, those top-end guilds who have the ability, know-how, and resources to quickly build their own add-ons when needed, like, basically no difference for them. Almost no difference at all. Don't like how they change professions during a season. It breaks the economy. Yeah, it does. Weirdly, I think this is now the 3rd expansion in a row that we've seen changes to prospecting mid-season 1. It happened twice, maybe even 3 times at the War Within. They changed the glass. One of the first things they did was basically flip it on. They flipped the drop rates on its head at the beginning of the War Within. Like, they made some change to glass, didn't they? They did a couple of changes at the beginning of the War Within. We've now seen an increase to gems halfway through season 1 of Midnight. It happens every time. But this is why you just have to play the markets as they are. And also why I tend not to recommend people sort of, you know, unless you're gambling with gold that you don't care about losing. Trying to do any big goblin plays on materials these days is hella risky. Super duper risky. Where's my all the things window? What? Updates paused? What do you mean updates paused? Oh. If it's not in holidays, does that mean that it's complete? Well, that's not true, is it? Because didn't I just find something from the vendor that I don't own? Pretty sure I did. Aha. Noblegarden, here we go. Loads of stuff we're missing. Oh yeah, I remember these duck disguises. There's a 6-year long grind to get these, isn't there? Noble flying carpet. Is this new? Feathered friend, loot filled basket, 10.2.6. Oh. Not new at all. I've just somehow never managed to do it. When I do a recipe scan, it shows me that an item has 9k profit. When I make it and try and sell it, I see that the profit's going to be 5k. Any way to get accurate profits in Craft Sim? It depends how you've got Craft Sim set up. If you can choose to use, I mean, the two most common are either Auctionator or TSM for price sourcing in Craft Sim. If you're using Trade Skill Master, you probably want to use DB Recent as your price source. That will be the most up-to-date, most accurate valuation of items when it does its calculations. If you do Auctionator, you'll need to do a full auction scan or you do any crafting. And yeah, what Kahani's also said, if you're just crafting a single item, you know, the profit can be very different if you proc resourcefulness, do you proc multi-craft, you know, so on and so on. You yeah, you need to remember that the range of which things can cost is monstrous these days. Which means Craft Sim works to averages. You craft 3 things, you might not get anywhere near that average. It's not Craft Sim's fault. It's just, you know, RNG. Knowing what Craft Sim does behind the scenes to do the maths, I'm relatively confident that Craft Sim is going to give you at least the best indication to what may be profitable or not. I think it's the best add-on out there for that sort of stuff. It's by no means perfect, but it's the best one out there. It claims I need 500 Noblegarden chocolates. There's a staff, an axe, a stalk. There's 4 weapons, apparently. And a rabbit polymorph, which I have to do on my mage. So we do need more eggs. Is that going to be 100 a pop? It's probably 100 a pop, isn't it? Daytan Swift Plume. This is the big duck fella, isn't it? There's a Noblegarden trinket. Okay, we need to do this, dude. Need to do the big duck fella. Isn't he over here? Is this a once per day job? This is another once per day job, isn't it? The big duck fella. Oh, big duck. Big duck fella. The toys are count bound now. You can collect them all on alts and they'll flag on the main too. Oh, so it's not a 6-year long grind anymore. Okay. This would probably be year 3 of that either way. Simple craft sell math stopped with Dragonflight. It did, yeah. It did. When they stacked resourcefulness and multicraft in. 2 layers of RNG. Both with different mechanics. Yeah, the 2 herbs plus 1 vial equals 1 potion days are long gone. You either have to put trust in add-ons to give you the average and to give you an indication of whether you're doing something right or wrong, or you have to start looking at spreadsheets and, you know, all of this. Let's just get the basic quests done and out of the way. Any plan to release a new TSM guide? Not planned, no.
What do you require? Glory to the Sindorai. Farewell. State your business. The eternal
Feathered friend, here we go. Carpet, go on. Go on, game. Boom! Boom! Well, either we got hella lucky. Show people what it looks like. Either we got hella lucky, or it's probably one of those bad luck protection mounts again, isn't it? Spring Revelers turquoise attire. Don't mind if I do. And the mallard duck disguise. Boom. Without Thorma, mass crafting sucks now. The profit is so slim. I mean, it was already getting that way in the War Within, wasn't it? Like, unless you had full stack vertical integration, you were rarely able in the War Within even to just buy materials, craft something, and sell it at a profit. And it, you know, has led to a scenario where, short of doing it on multiple accounts so you can simultaneously do a bunch of stuff, it's just, you know, the bar's much higher now. Which, like I said, you know, the irony of The irony of trying to simplify things actually only pushes the meta, has pushed the meta forward further. And out of reach of probably even more people. Gave up on mass crafting after a month, especially with the prospecting changes. I'm going all in on my 350 alts into concentration. Yeah, I don't know what the longevity for me is. I know very much how I play the game is well, I don't mind setting up. I don't mind the journey of setting things up. But if it becomes highly repetitive and highly monotonous, I drop it like it's hot. Now, you know, a lot of things like concentration and daily skinning farms and stuff, they're an ADHD gamer's dream, aren't they? Yet for me, it just doesn't fly, unfortunately, for me. I don't mind setting them up, but much after that, I'll do it for a while, and then I'll always put it down. Right, 88 chocolates. We need more. $500 chocolates to go. Only did concentration last expansion and was really looking forward to going full verticality this expansion. New to it, so definitely made mistakes like swapping professions on multiple tunes. I mean, you have to make mistakes to realize they're mistakes. That's, you know, you don't know it's a mistake until you do it and realize it's a mistake. Nobody chooses to do mistakes, so this is kind of the point. You got to fail a few times before you get the rhythm and the routine down.
What do you need?
Just use the interact key for these. I can, yeah. Blood and gold will be remembered. Damn. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's not a bad thing to make balls ups. Like I said, nobody's you kind of have to learn. Repetition bores me quickly. I can endure it for some time if the profit is high, like Shadowlands Legendaries. But in general, I'm trying to avoid such types of content. I mean, I don't think even Shadowlands Legendaries would have kept me anywhere near as entertained if it wasn't for the fact that I was able to stream it. Because, yes, for the most part, cancel scanning like your life depended on it for hours and hours every day. The dopamine hits of opening big, sizable mailboxes all day were great, but you then had to do a day of cancel scanning to get your next mailbox. If it wasn't for the fact that I could just sit on stream and chat with you guys whilst we did it, and it was the lands. Even if they replicated Shadowlands Legendaries again today, like it still wouldn't be anywhere near as interesting as the first time round. Because one of the more enjoyable things of Shadowlands Legendaries and being able to stream it and, you know, chat with a bunch of people all day, every day about it, was that everybody had a slightly different experience of it. There was permanent discussions and conversations about, you know, what the price of materials were on people's realms. Like, everybody playing on their own little economy meant everybody could come together and, you know, it was fun to compare and contrast. Oh, I sold 50 of these on this reset day, and, you know, somebody else would come in and be like, oh, I did really well on these yesterday, and so on and so on. That made the experience a lot more enjoyable because it felt that you could be open, you could discuss it. You also didn't feel as if, you know, you were stepping on anybody else's toes particularly. Now, of course, if you were trying to dominate one of the, you know, the bigger servers, it was, you would often... I did a lot of legendary crafting and selling on Tarren Mill. I eventually moved on to Draenor as well, but an awful lot of my experience of Shadowlands Legendaries was on like a medium population server where I categorically knew that there was maybe only one, possibly two other people on that server that ever watched the stream. And so it was still... Is safe the right word? I guess it is. I really have wrestled with the issues of streaming and mats and mass crafts being on the region-wide auction house. Wrestled with it from the perspective of that, you know, if I... Oh, we got a mount. Yoink. Wrestled with it from the perspective of that, you know, if I say that, oh, these materials look cheap, it takes anybody from across the entire region to just go, oh, Manthius said these materials are cheap. Yoink. Takes them all. Moats are cheap, cough. I've started selling some of the moats now. They've been, my average buy price on them is so low now that I can very easily start flipping them for a profit now. Made 300 mil in Outland Realm alone. Crazy. Oh yeah, it was absolutely bonkers. Now, there's a little bit of hindsight monster in this, but I was a big advocate for the region-wide auction house when they first implemented it. And I think I was a big advocate for it because I was in the prime position to take advantage of it. The region-wide auction house, when it was first implemented, heavily benefits those that already have a humongous pile of gold. Because it basically gave you the ability to buy as many materials as you wanted, or for as long as your gold allowed you to. And it also allowed you to craft basically as much as you wanted and sell as much as you wanted as long as your gold allowed you to. And I thought the opportunities for flipping and resetting markets and stuff would be absolutely bonkers with a region-wide auction house, which it has proven to be. And I don't discredit that overall the region-wide auction house is definitely a success in terms of it has normalized the cost to play for basically everybody. But as time has gone on, as we've had the region-wide auction house now for over 2 expansions, I am more and more of the opinion that from the crafting and the goal-making side of the game, it's not as fun. It's nowhere near as fun. It was far more fun having everybody have their own mini economies and having everybody be able to sort of compare and contrast between them, even down as far as materials. Great part about the Legos was the high barrier to entry. It's the missing part from the current crafting. Yeah, Blizzard's wrestling with this problem, aren't they? They really, you can tell they really don't quite know what to do with it. They clearly don't know quite how to address this now. But they now have a relatively deep crafting system. But the weird thing is that the barrier to entry to be BIS and to be min-max in it isn't really that difficult. Any fool can run around for 4, and this is the thing, they've made it a time sink. They've made crafting a time sink. And the issue with that is that given enough time, any idiot can do it. Genuinely, that becomes the problem. Any idiot can do it, given enough time. If you're willing to spend 40 minutes every week farming up a few little treasures, and you're willing to log in every single day and press 3 buttons to do your Flickr order, and your, getting your knowledge points and getting your tools and doing your shards and your dun-dun runs and stuff, it's just busy work. It's just a time sink. But it's way more difficult now for you to actually use any sort of skill or expertise to set yourself apart. The only thing you can really do is have very, very deep pockets and be able to buy an entire week's worth of materials at any given point where you see them cheap enough to be able to do. Now, I don't think Shadowlands Legendaries was right either. Having it entirely be based on he who has the most gold probably wins, which kind of did happen. But at least the barrier to entry was sizable and it was there. And it, they had soft resets with this as well. The soft resets was every patch going up from rank 4 to rank 5 to rank 6 to rank 7. Or 5 and 6 came in the same patch, didn't they? Kind of made rank 5 a bit dead on arrival, if I remember. But at least there was a mini soft reset between each patch. Yo, Chalida with a 120 stream streak. Holy. Welcome in, welcome in. Good morning to you. Sun's out, look. Sun's out. Is it officially spring now, do we think? Is it time? I've already put the jeans back on. The sweats have gone away now. It's officially jeans weather. As expected, the regional-wide auction house became a race to the bottom. Yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I don't know how they can. It's going to take something more creative than I think Blizzard are capable of, because they're never going to change the region-wide auction house. I don't think anymore. They're never going to change it. They're never going to revert it back. So you can't even consider that as like an option. They're never going to revert it back because for most players, it does its job very well, which is giving absolutely everybody the exact same cost to play the game, depending on what level you choose to play at, of course. If you want to play in the leagues of you must have the best everything, it costs you the same to do that, whatever server you play on. It doesn't matter. If you want the best consumables, all high quality everything, then it costs you X amount, and it costs the exact same if somebody else comes along and does the same. So in that regards, the region-wide auction house has made cost to play fair, which is, I think, their main goal of it in the first place anyway, and probably the number one reason they won't ever change it. But there is no doubt in my mind that the long-term effects of the region-wide auction house rub against the direction that they've gone with the crafting system. Oh my god, I can't even begin to imagine how cool the crafting system would have been if we have the current crafting system that we have now, but if we had it in Shadowlands, it would... goated expansion if that was the case. You can keep your legendaries. You can keep your legendary system. If we had the current crafting system back in the days where we had individualized realms, oh god, it'd be beautiful. And yeah, let's not forget, maybe allow us to actually put shit on the auction house properly. But like, I don't know how Blizzard goes about dealing with this. How do they both keep the benefits of the region-wide auction house whilst also removing the clear and obvious negative of it, which is if everybody's materials cost the same, or the opportunity to buy those materials is equal for everybody, it genuinely ends up making most of the crafting system sort of null and void to most players. I don't know. I don't know how they fix it. I don't know what they can do. But like I said, I worry it requires something more creative than Blizzard is actually capable of. Remember going into a profession because you could craft it for yourself only? What a time. You see, that was the pull, wasn't it? That was the carrot on the stick for people to do professions in the first place, way back in the day. And people would often switch their professions around almost on a patch by patch basis because of it. It's primarily the reason why they got rid of the you remember how you actually had to level a profession from 0? And by 0, I mean like vanilla 0. Was it Warlords of Draenor? Was Warlords of Draenor the last time? Or was it Legion the last time? Where was it they removed that limitation? I think it was WoD, where you could basically just say, right, ignore everything that's ever happened before. When you pick up a profession, you pick up it from the current expansion, and you can just go. That was kind of, you know, that was responsible for keeping a lot of value in the old markets for ages. It was Draenor. Make lumber BOE? Oh no, I definitely don't agree with that. I definitely don't agree with that. I think making lumber warbound was a stroke of genius. I need to double check if we need any of these things. I don't think we do, but another mount wouldn't go amiss. Oh, I wonder if I could even get another mount. Curiosity. I wonder if I can even get another mount because they're unique. Maybe I put this one on the auction house, just in case. Put a new star rank of crafting in every patch and have the recipes require more input. They had, like... This is also where... I hate to say it, but they kind of almost had the right idea back in Shadowlands, didn't they, with the Crafter's Mark system? You spent the first patch doing the effort needed to get the recipe, and then each subsequent patch from there on, you had to do something. It wasn't that inspiring, but it was usually just hit revered with the new faction. But at least you had to do something to get the new recipe for the new Crafter's Mark that allowed you to craft it at the new higher item level. Like, that process alone was the reason why they created the work order system. Because that was the point where the quantity of different variations of items just exploded. And that wasn't really great to have 25 million different variations of an item. It was also what spawned the embellishment system. You know, a lot of the profession stuff that we have now, embellishments, the work order system, all of this was spawned from what they learned from Shadowlands. As far as goal making goes anyway, I think Shadowlands was very influential on the systems that we have today. The grind for Revered, I still remember it. Back before warbands as well, so you had to do it on all of your crafters. But at least it was something to chase after. This was kind of the cool thing. Every time a patch turned up, it was like a soft reset on the professions. Your previous your previous efforts in the professions was still, you know, held value because you needed the recipes at least. But you had something new to go out and get so that you could then start recrafting and creating a new set of gear for that season without having to farm up all the recipes again. Yo, Mr. Woo with 45 months. Good morning, good morning. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, we're we're on the egg grind right now. We're on the egg grind. I need like 500 of these things to get my ATT looking nice and healthy. Yeah, we got the contracts. Contracts is one aspect, but that's one craft in one profession, you know? Like, this is where their efforts have gone exponentially less. What were the things you got from... They didn't call them embellishments to begin with. I can't remember what they called them. They had some other name, didn't they? But back in the Zereth Mortis patch, what, 9.2? They added... That was where they first added the extra slot, wasn't it? For you to put like the sails or something on your gear that gave you like bonus run speed, and there was, you know, the... That whole system spawned the optional reagent system. I don't know. I think looking back at it, of the past 5 expansions, I think Shadowlands has been the most influential from a goal-making perspective. The more grind shudder. Yeah. Didn't have to do the Moor grind particularly. I don't really remember spending that much time in the Moor. It was more player. That was the player power grind. You see, this is where this is where I both feel I played Shadowlands more than any other expansion ever. Oh, another mount. I feel I played Shadowlands more than any other expansion ever, yet at the same time, I also don't feel as if I played Shadowlands at all. Like, I saw it from a completely different angle to everybody else. $300k liquid gold, and in order to enter the Lego market, I had to do a lot of the skinning myself. Yeah, I didn't go into Shadowlands with billions of gold. I didn't do much, if any, of the skinning myself, but the hustle was real at the beginning. It was very fun. As a PvP only player, I hated Shadowlands. The gear discrepancy based on rating only gated people, and it felt awful. Yeah, I mean, you're basically talking a foreign language as far as I'm concerned. I can count on one hand the amount of battlegrounds I've done in the last 5 expansions. we coined the phrase auction house PvP. Because that's pretty much the only arena that we roll in. And in all honesty, I'm doing even less of that these days. Have I just got super duper mega lucky with these mounts, by the way? There's no way I should have pawned 2 of these mounts from farming 250 chocolates, right? That seems outrageously OP. How many chocolates is it to buy the mount outright anyway? Oh, it's 500 to buy the mount in the first place. Oh, okay. And I farmed 250 chocolates and got 2 of them. Okay, stream of luck. Sorry. Which is not my intention. Off to bed, have a good stream. Thanks for stopping by, appreciate it. Sleep well. I can't but ever read your name as anything else other than Meat Demon, even though I know that's not it. I love your streams, no offense, but you can't always talk as if you're retiring from the game if you play 5 accounts at the same time. I'm not playing 5 accounts right now. I think the I think yes, there is a bit of a contrast to how I play the game to how an awful lot of people play the game, but the 5 accounts is just a time saving thing, really. That's really all it is. Playing on 5 accounts gives me the ability to relist my auctions in 20 minutes instead of 2 hours, which is really the only major advantage for having the multiple accounts. It's just a time-saving optimization, that really. And I definitely don't utilize them like I could. No way, shape, or form. I mean, arguably the skinning thing recently has been probably the biggest use of having the 5 accounts set up, but there's a reason why I didn't put a whole bunch of game time on each of those accounts, because we will play it by ear just how much focus we give to goal making. Once the hype really dies down for the expansion launch, we'll actually, thinking about it, we're not that many weeks now away from 12.05, and with 12.05 we will get info on 12.1, so that will probably be the telltale for me to how we plan on doing things. Are you planning on retiring from the game or streaming? No. I think it maybe comes across slightly wrong. I do a lot of reminiscing, but it's very easy to do a lot of reminiscing when I've played the game for 20 years, right? I'm not always so wrapped up in the here and now because of that. And I like to, you know, reminisce a little bit and analyze the stuff. And that maybe that comes across a little bit as if, you know, I'm not enjoying the here and now. The here and now is different, but I wouldn't be playing it if I wasn't enjoying it. I've had that mentality for a good few years now. I absolutely wouldn't be playing if I wasn't enjoying doing it. You better not. Goldson's retiring from WoW and goal making. He'll be back next week. Goldson retires from WoW more often than I change my underwear. He'll be back next week. It'll be fine. Wasn't he just... wasn't Goldson like... Didn't he craft like a bajillion vials? Like... I don't know. I've taken a few days off the stream, so, you know, I'm probably chatting old news here, but I'm pretty sure the last thing I heard Goldson doing was he was crafting 10 million flipping rank 2 vials. Doesn't sound very... It doesn't sound very much like I'm about to enter retirement, does it? We're leaving the game in September for a good bit, IRL, so I feel there's a countdown going on. You got some big life changes. The BlizzCon's in September, isn't it, this year? Get Last Titan info start coming out then. Burnout is real. Watch his recent video. Give it a watch later. One thing I do need to be slightly aware of is it's a little bit later than September, but when GTA 6 comes out, I don't care what's going on in this game. When GTA 6 comes out, we're putting WoW down for as long as it takes to extract all the value in the world from GTA 6. What? Yeah, if it comes out. Huge changes has to happen. It'll be tough for a while, but it's for the better. That's the thing. Doing a master's at the moment for it. Full career change. Oh, fair play. Well, best of luck with that one then. Best of luck with that one. There's part of me that wishes that I did more formal standard education. I live in a country now where basically everybody has a master's almost by default. It sometimes makes me feel real dumb. But for those who may or may not know, education in Finland is free up to and including university level. Masters, you do have to start putting your hand in your own pocket, but it's often the first time where people have had to pay for their own form of education. This often means that people absolutely rinse the education system in this country and are still deep into education, like way into their 20s and even 30s, which leads to not really much surprise that this country is absolutely full of like incredibly smart people. That said, I stopped formal education at basically 17. I did my A levels in the UK, which is like 16 to 18 level education for those from further afield. But I didn't really do them properly, should we say. I certainly didn't acquire vast quantities of pieces of paper that say I was any good at anything. This means that living in Finland now, sometimes compared to others, I feel like an absolute dum-dum. So there is part of me sometimes that wishes I'd gone or spent more time in formal education. The problem I had with learning, and the problem I still have with learning to these days, is I hate having to do it on a timeline. I hate learning on a schedule. I don't do it very well. I didn't do it very well when I was a teenager, and I don't think I'd do it very well to this day. I tend to, because I also kind of believe that you learn the best when you're enjoying doing it, and if you're feeling rushed to do it, like people who cram an entire essay the day before they have to hand it in, I'm like, you haven't actually gained anything from that process. You've just ticked a box that somebody's told you to tick. But at the same time, I know why people do it. But it's kind of led me to believe that I'll probably be one of those people that gets more into education again. Like, at some point down the line. Because I'll be able to do it at my own pace, at my own leisure, and do it for the fun of doing it. More so than, like, because it's mandatory and required of me. I can't be productive without the pressure of deadlines. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm nearly the opposite. I do need some deadlines in place in order to get stuff done. But I often know that when it comes to that sort of stuff, I'm doing it in order to appease somebody else. World-class procrastinator. Yeah, I definitely have that. I have that skill maxed, but at least tons of the higher level education here is in English nowadays, so you'd have that going for you. Well, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of the uni courses. The difficulty I would probably have is, you know, it would I would actually have to pay for it. So we'll see. I'll do most of my learning via YouTube. I did too much school. Should have started a trade earlier. Well, yeah, the hindsight that's a hindsight thing, isn't it? You know, the world economy right now is going to greatly favor tradies for a little while, I think. Everybody that spent the last 10 years of their life training to be a web developer is kind of sweating it a bit now, aren't they? Those who are smart, though, will come out ahead. What's this? Another toy. Does perception work when you're using imbued mulch? I would imagine so. I'm quite sure you'll get a second Lotus if you stack your perception high enough. I can't categorically prove that. I've not done any of this. I'm not. I mean, it was only an hour ago I said that even the daily skinning is getting a little bit too much for me. When we turn that into an hourly event, you can bet your ass that I ain't going anywhere near that. But I would imagine that your hourly mulchers benefit from perception, yes. At least I would state that, you know, as the game rules dictate, it should be of benefit. I haven't done it physically to find out, but... I really regret spending my first 15 years of adult life in trading instead of going into education. Could have had a PhD already. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any regrets. I just know I took a very different path than what was expected. And also what a lot of my friends and family did. For example, in my friend group, I was literally basically the only one that didn't go to university. Almost all of my friends went straight from high school into further education and then stayed there for a while. Headed off to uni and got all of that sort of life experience. I went completely the other route. I went into full-time work, grinded out a load of money, got a bunch of life experience off the back of it. Was fortunate enough compared to nearly all of my friends that went to university. Was able to get on the property ladder and things significantly quicker at a much younger age, which has paid dividends, in my opinion, by this point. So it swings and roundabouts. I sometimes feel like a dum-dum, but I also feel as if I'm not even 40 yet, and I feel I've got a lot of the life boxes ticked. says the man running around picking up Easter eggs in a video game, but you know, for the vast majority of things, I think that whilst I could have done things differently, I'm more than happy with the way things have ended up being. You're cosplaying as a bunny in the game as a pink rabbit. I can't help it. It keeps putting me in rabbit mode. Started the goblin ways early in life. I did the hustle. I left school and I did the hustle and I did the grind and I got the nest egg together. And I guess the world of content creation in streaming is probably the equivalent of the World of Warcraft crafting. Who knows, in 10 years' time I might be expert oil futures flipper or something. Who knows? Who knows? Yes, still dressed as a pink rabbit as well, yeah. On that note, Mrs. Manthius has a birthday next week. I need to figure out a birthday present. Chat, where's my body type 2s in chat? Give me some sensible wife birthday gifts. She always wants the same stuff, and it's always stuff that I consider to be shit gifts. She always wants a gift card for somewhere. And I'm like, fuck off, am I buying you a gift card? It's like, that's not like, no, I refuse. Tank of diesel, to be honest, at today's prices, that's probably not a bad idea. Fortunately, though, we have a fully electric car, so that's not so much of an issue for us. We're also quite lucky. We're on a fixed rate for our electricity for the next 2 years, which is another one of those life decisions that might very well pay itself off very nicely. A Murloc onesie, I like that. I want that for myself. I might buy 2. That's a cracking idea. It's very different amongst other countries' cultures when it comes to trade and higher education. Regardless of how much you earn as a tradesman, repairman, you don't get the respect of a doctor, judge, etc. Well, that's true. That is very true. But there also comes a point where I think caring about what other people think of you is a very young person problem. I'm already getting to the age, I think, now where I care very little about what other people think of me. Very little. I think if there's somebody that's worthy of garnishing their best opinion and favor and respect from, I have ways and means of going about it that doesn't revolve a piece of paper. Subscription to a favorite magazine. Magazines still exist in 2026. It's a thought. That becomes an expensive one, though. Whenever we go to her parents' place, her mum has a subscription to one of these like home decoration kind of magazine things. And she has a flick through that. And every time she has a little bit of a look through that, we almost end up renovating a room. So that might be a cheap subscription to a magazine with a very, very expensive DIY bill attached to it. I'm not careful. I was going to say gift card. She can get something she really likes rather than pretending. Well, I always tell her if there's something really specific she wants, she has to tell me. But otherwise, I won't come up with something. Yeah, she always wants something stupid like a gift card or I don't know, some flipping, spa treatment or something. I'm like, Christ. I can rub some moisturizer on your shoulders. Jesus. Romantic, eh? If you don't have a college degree, you have to complete your mandatory military duty. Well, conscription's mandatory in Finland as well, but I'm not actually a Finnish citizen, so. And I'm also too old. Doesn't apply to me, unfortunately. But let's hope Russia doesn't make any bad decisions. Get her a puppy? Oh yeah, that would go down a treat, that would. Here's another dog. She's up north right now with Sulla. He's living his best life up there. He's got the snow. He's pretending to be a husky, apparently. 2 nights, 3-day vacation somewhere. Good food. Yeah, that kind of path appeals because it benefits both of us. That's the gift that keeps on giving. Is definitely the gift that keeps on giving. Super fluffy bathrobe and matching slippers. She steals my bathrobe all the time, actually. She has her own, but she steals mine. I have a really cool Doctor Who bathrobe. It's blue and it's shaped to look like the TARDIS. The fun thing is I don't even like Doctor Who, but it's a really nice bathrobe. So I kind of know why she steals it. She steals it because she says it's longer. Her one, she says, isn't long enough. She's clearly bought one that's for her size. My wife can't get enough of rituals. A candle, Smelly's company. Okay. That's risky business. Our house isn't... We're not knick-knack people. We don't have lots of, like, things. But candles and flowers is something that every time I go into a new room in the house... Sorry, every time I go into a room in the house, there's something new. Not a new room in the house, flipping hell. Words. These are good ideas. I agree with her. I buy men's ones. They're longer and thicker, so they're more comfy and warm. There's a market there, surely. Making female bathrobes and just giving China the instructions for the men's one. Just put a female sticker in it. How many of these do we need? Oh, we're nearly there. I needed 500, didn't I? And I've got 472. An oversized long luxury bathrobe, not room. Well, fun fact, it's been on our DIY list for ages. Since we moved into our new house. The one thing we've wanted to do is convert one of the little rooms upstairs into an upstairs bathroom. But that requires a few more pennies than I currently have. Installing a bathroom ain't cheap. Especially since I want solar panels first. Is it the forever home? Most likely. Something pretty tragic could have to happen for it to not be the forever home, I think, now. Which is why we don't mind spending some money on it. just use a multi-tool and get cracking. Make sure I get my Amani multi-craft enchant on it. Mine isn't, so I'm putting the bare minimum in. Yeah, we for 15 years we bounced between we were in the habit of basically moving house. I mean, it was a bit ridiculous at one point. It was every 18 months. When we were still living in the UK. But when we moved to Finland, it slowed down a little bit, but we've now lived in 3 different places in Finland. And this is probably, we both agree that this is probably the final landing spot. And yeah, I remember that sort of feeling of living somewhere without that feeling of it being a forever home. You always absolutely hated the thought of having to do any DIY or renovations or anything, because you were like, I'm spending all this money and it's not for me, if that makes sense. I get that. Oh, I need 2 more. 2 more. Yeah, we did get hella lucky on those mounts, by the way. To pull 2 of those mounts from the first 250 chocolates was kind of wild. There we go. 500 chocolates. Beautiful. I could make it the forever. I like the house, just not the location. Yeah, it's location matters a lot, doesn't it? We didn't land exactly in the location we wanted to. But I actually think that we ended up doing better than what we were shooting for anyway.
Be careful, man.
Hence why I were kind of quite happy with it. All right. What do we need here? Violet floral edge. Yoink. Pristine floral stalk. Just all of these ones, isn't it? Paradise violet axe. Faded floral staff. And, oh, the tome polymorph. Oh, we got, oh, no, I needed to do this on the flipping mage. Ah, I need to run around and pick up 100 on the mage. Oh, that's annoying. These are soulbound as well, aren't they, these chocolates? Damn you, game. Go do the campaign after. Yeah, I've probably got a bunch of chapters still to finish on that, to be honest. I tend not to do too much camp. Well, I suppose time enough is probably past now, isn't it? I don't have to worry too much about spoilers. Sometimes wild how different countries are. Here, most people pretty much never move. It's typical to have several generations living under the same roof, especially in the countryside. Pretty much the only time when people move is around when they go to another city for education or when they marry someone. I mean, that used to be the case. I guess I don't know. I thought that was like a corn on the cob to start with. It's a spiky lily stick. The icon's red. Looks like a red sword in the icon. Oh, that's quite cool. It's got a big sunflower in the middle of it. Nice. What I am going to do before we do anything else, though, is nuke all of this rubbish. Otherwise, it will clog up my bags for forever and a day. Oh, not only that, half of it we can't sell, apparently. Just double checking that all of this isn't stuff we need.
Come back with some better stories.
Get rid of all of this. Bring rabbit's foot. Delete. Cursed rabbit's foot. Also, don't appear to need that. Anything. Get rid of all of this before it makes a real mess. Right, now we're good. Now we're good. Okay, I kind of need to come back here on the mage to do 100 chocolates, but is there anything extra special that we can jump on now? Can you not show me the things that I've already got? What is it? Shift click to refresh? Oh, 94%. Bag cleaning? What? Sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and do it. Most of this will disappear once I buy the polymorph thing. What about these quests, though? Oh yeah, we've got to get the other duck disguise colours.
Is that your wallet? Are you just glad
Apparently,
to see
though,
me?
we can do this on a bunch of alts
Both,
to
I
get all the
hope.
duck disguises. Zim Power with a 49. Humongous numbers. Thank you very much for that one. Still streaming strong with fewer bugs than most game launches. Thank you, thank you. Welcome in. I should probably do the Just Waddle Away. Be completed yearly, completed by monthly. Prerequisite quests that must... DuckTales needs to be done. Have I actually done this quest line? Noblegarden. DuckTales. Need to do a few more of the basic quests on this toon. We can get one of the duck disguises on this main dude. I think I gave my dog too much CBD today. She passed out hard. Wait, your dog's on CBD? Why? Have I missed something? If I remember right, you got golden retriever? Because I vaguely remember being jealous of your dog.
What business have you? Shorel Aran.
Good question, actually. Where were my dogs? Equally flopped. Double flops. Oh, big stretches. Hi, Nipsers. Hi. Hi. Wave the tail. Oh. What up? What up? Go back to sleep. It's okay. Go. She's psycho since neutered. Vet suggested mellowing it out to help her recover. You can't figure out the dose. Oh, I see. I see. Solo had the snip a couple of weeks back. He had his cone of shame for a little while. He's all good now though. Nips was just going, nope, if you want to cuddle you have to come to me, not moving. Yeah, she's a bit grumpy at the moment. She's in her lady time. So she's a bit grumpy, yeah.
We will persevere.
Transform into a duck. What are we doing with this? One quack. Two quacks. Three. I need to turn off autocomplete because I have a sneaky suspicion that Zygor might automatically pick one for me and I don't want it to do it. Couldn't I just flown it first? Maybe I've got to do it as a duck. Relaxed quack. Okay. You know, I still can't. I can't go anywhere without flipping whacking a tree these days. Just kind of feels wrong flying past it and not picking up the lumber. It's one thing I do need to do that I haven't. Get the 250 lumber collection achievements done. Okay, yeah, see, we do technically have some of these. Just give me the black duck disguise on this character then. And I now need to do that on a few alts, I think, to get the other ones. Yoink. Summon an egg that lets you transform into a tiny duck. Do you just use the toy on your alts now? I guess you've got to unlock the colours, right? Oh, I think that... What wasn't the unlocking the different colours the bit that's on like a flipping 6-year rotation or something? Are you sure you can repeat the quest again and get the other... Where's the duck disguiser? Where's me collections? Whack. Duck disguiser. Wizard, black, or mallard? The only options I have. Can I do the quest on alts now and it give me the appearances? I guess there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Only one way to find out. Do we do the duck quest on 4 alts? Hang on, before I do that, is there literally any reason I still need to be here? No, I need to get 100 chocolates on the mage. We need to do some more duck quests, and that will be Noblegarden finished, won't it? So, with that in mind, let's peace out. Let's peace back home. This dude. Tailors don't have specific nodes for the trade tools. You spend points on hats, garments, etc. No, not anymore. They gain skill from the generic plus skill nodes dotted all over the place in tailoring, much like everything else. Yeah, don't go putting a bunch of points in hats or chests or anything, because they don't help you with the tools. That was a War Within thing, not a Midnight thing. Oh my god, I've just spotted shards of Dundun on my screen. I'd forgotten about Abundance. I was meant to do Abundance ones last week to get my second piece of Epic gear, and I just didn't do any Abundance ones due to not playing the game for like 4 days. Let's see if we let's see if we bother doing any Abundance this week. Fuck Abundance. Wonder if Titan stuff will be showed at BlizzCon. Probably. There's no denying. I think BlizzCon this year could be quite a big one. What exactly we'll get, don't know, but I mean, come September, will be. I mean, what are we saying? September's got to be. The expansion launched March, April, May, June, July, August. So I would suspect September is going to be the launch of 12.1. Would be a guess. Which, yeah, they might not do too much. They might not be doing too much Titan stuff, because they'll still have the story arc from the tail end of Midnight to play out, but I'm thinking 12-1 will be the week after BlizzCon. Maybe. I can't remember the exact cadence. That's assuming they stick to it over the summer. You'd do a duck quest. Oh, hang on, that's not the right room. Not even remotely close to the right room. Guess that enchant demand never came. The race to world first is over. Enchanting mats are still worth pennies. Probably won't till Blizz does something about all armies, easy use of entry in the quest that gives you mats. That sounds like you're not aware of where enchanting mats come from. Enchanting mats are in the bin, and they will always be in the bin because they're heavily tied to the price of Tranquility Bloom. Normal quality Tranquility Bloom at that. Which is the expansions basicest of basic raw herbs, which has nowhere to go and is always going to be a byproduct of farming a more expensive herb. So enchanting mats are always going to be in the bin. They were never not the supply of enchanting mats far outstrips any possible likelihood of the demand being big enough for the enchants. Just by proxy of the fact that way too much Tranquility Bloom is going to be in the market. One of the reasons why I was not very fond of suggesting people go heavy on enchanting concentration alts, to be honest, because the entire enchanting concentration market revolves around the price of the crystal. Now, at the moment, this crystal supply is still kind of dictated by oh no, hang on, this isn't the right I need to do this on the mage, don't I? The price of the crystals are dictated by Inscription making Dark Moon cards still, mostly. But with enough time and enough epics being about, even the price of the crystals are going to converge to being nearly equal. Oh, I need more fragments. Maybe we do need to collect a few eggs then. What does Tranquility Bloom do with enchanting mats? It's the shuffle to get enchanting mats is you take Tranquility Bloom and you mill it for the pigment. You take the pigment and then you recycle it. That gives you Evercores. You turn the Evercores into blue leveling gear, and then you disenchant the blue leveling gear, and there you've got your shards, and then you can shatter the shards to get the dust. Now, there's so many steps in that process, and all of the steps in that process can benefit from resourcefulness, meaning that one single piece of normal quality Tranquility Bloom can eventually actually produce 2-3 pieces of dust by the time you've done the whole process. Now, if you take a look at the price of normal quality Tranquility Bloom, you'll understand quite quickly why the price of dust is you know, going down and down and down and down and down, and has been pretty much since the start of the expansion. But yeah, look, Ever Singing Dust, 2 gold, 4 gold. You know, combined total of 2 million, and that's just what's on the auction house right now. That's got a lot to do with the fact that, I mean, I would look at those numbers and assume that Tranquility Bloom is like 5 gold a piece then. Reagents, herbs, Tranquility Bloom, same price. Yeah. You can still do the full shuffle. Tranquility Bloom to pigments, to Evercores, to gear, to mats. You can do the whole process. There's not humongous amounts of profit in it when the numbers are so low. But the fact that it's mostly AFK, all excluding the disenchanting, it's mostly AFK. It fundamentally means somebody out there will continue doing it until there's absolutely zero profit in it. Lack of thaumaturgy did a number on the prices. Well, yeah, I mean, I was saying for a long time that this expansion, from a profession standpoint, is going to feel a lot more. Why is it? What's going on? Does that? Okay. Why was it see-through for a minute? This expansion is going to feel a lot more like what Dragonflight did. Where the basic materials have nowhere to go but down. And it's actually got the potential to be even worse, because at least in Dragonflight you could convert up. Like, we don't even have that this time round. At least I vaguely remember in Dragonflight you could convert up. But yeah, the base mats. Copper's holding on a little bit stronger, but that's because copper has more uses than Tranquility Bloom. That's not to say Tranquility Bloom doesn't have its uses, but it's just, you know, it's what herbalists gain when they're trying to get other more expensive stuff. At least at the moment, with Tranquility Bloom being so cheap, I would imagine herbalists probably actually have the choice to just not pick up Tranquility Bloom nodes right now. That said, there's a lot of people that probably still do, on the off chance that on the probability that they've probably put a huge amount of knowledge points into it to get more of it in the first few weeks of the expansion. So they're still going to do it regardless. Sunk cost fallacy. And also the fact that if you've put enough points into it, it might be your one way of getting Nocturnal Lotus. Which, once again, people will pick up the Tranquility Bloom nodes in the hope of getting a Lotus, meaning the amount of herbs that they gain is, like, you know. Ginny, how we doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. I wish people would stop mentioning Dragonflight. I've still got to level up my professions in that expansion. Yeah, there's still a few I think it's only the only crafting profession I think is blacksmithing where I still need knowledge points. But from a gathering perspective, skinning, herbalism, mining, like, yeah, I'm still miles behind. Not that I have any real intention of ever doing it. Right, we gotta wait for a duck apparently. My moat investment bankrupted me? Then you overinvested. I always tell people, don't invest into anything with gold that they care about. Because then you're emotionally attached to it. And that often leads you to sell early. The, what is it, the primal moat seems to be holding, what I can see at least, pretty strong at about 8 gold a piece now. Which means I could probably sell most of mine and easily double my money on it. The light one, I haven't paid as much attention to, but considering the light moats go into the potions, what they're called, or the main potion, the consumption of those light moats must be absolutely flipping outrageous. So that's just a matter of time before they start running out. The void ones and the wild ones are clearly very, 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 very heavily supplied. Where's the flipping hell's the map gone? Get rid of like all up. At the top here is a very popular, almost hyper spawn for herbalism and mining, which is what's producing just crazy amounts of the void moats. And of course, we all know that Zulaman has been frequently touted as just the best place to do herbing and mining, full stop. So, even with the price of the primal moat being higher in Harandar, it's not high enough to incentivize people to go out here and do their farming over the Voidstorm or Zulaman. So those two moats are being very, very heavily supplied and are probably the only two that look as if they might be keeping up with the demand as well. But yeah, the light moats and the primal moats appear to be slowly going in the direction I suspected they would. Unfortunately, Harandar is the best place to do the lumbering. It's a very annoying zone to farm. There's a lot of verticality in it, isn't it? And there's all, you know, your flipping herb is always on top of a 50-foot mushroom. I thought it was the skinners producing the moats like crazy. I mean, yeah, they do, but I still don't believe it's the main producer of moats. Off the back of the fact that I don't think 2x4 skinning is even remotely competitive to solo herbing and mining. So why would you spend your time trying to get into a 2x4 skinning group when solo herbing and mining can outperform it? That said, it's, you know, not my expertise, but where's this damn duck then? I need to go for a pee, but you bet your ass the second I step up from the computer, the duck will spawn. We risk it for a biscuit. I'll be fast. Back in 2. It's alright. I think I got the tag. I think we're fine. Right. Did it... Where's the... Yes, there we go. You got the tag. It's fine. I mean, going and peeing was absolutely, definitely going to be the way to make it spawn anyway, wasn't it? So it's fine. Oh, shit. Don't automatically hand that in. Already known, already known. White duck disguise. Done. Get rid of you. No, don't go put it on. Get out of here. Oh, brown duck disguise. Oh, you can get the disguises from the daily thing as well. Interesting. Didn't they know that? Oh, Spring Revelers corn silk boots. You haven't collected this appearance. Oh, wait, hang on. Hang on. Hang on, that's new. Does this mean there is new stuff that ATT doesn't know about this year? Oh, flippity-do. We need to turn ATT on. Hang on. Or did I do... Oh, I might have had ATT in, like, character-specific mode or something. Everybody fully restocked on tokens. I'm starting to feel they're never going to go below the psychological barrier, 300k. Yeah, I bought all of mine. I paid 312, I think, for all of mine. So, a little bit more than what they have been the last few days, but yeah, I kind of agree. Where I don't think they're going to go below 300. As soon as they get like low 300s, people buy them all up. You're right. It's kind of a psychological barrier, I think. Yeah, I think there's new stuff here. Because I've just pulled these Spring Revelers Horn Silk boots. Never implemented cosmetic Dragonflight 10.2.5 armor. So ATT knows they exist, but they're not tracked properly with Noblegarden. Never implemented cosmetic. How'd you find the never implemented bonus stuff? I don't even know. Newly added things. Holidays. Yeah, they've not added anything new to ATT. Blizz broke the add-ons again. Yeah, I don't see why Blizzard don't appear to be adding a whole bunch of themed decor these events. Maybe they just didn't have them. Once again, it's probably that they just didn't have time to do them. But well, that is unless maybe they're in this store. Is that more likely? Decor pack, the Rufus pack. Oh, his entire his doghouse is modular. Interesting. Spring Blossom decor pack. This isn't strictly linked to Noblegarden. I don't like the fact they're putting like that. I mean, they're still as close to the line as they possibly can be. As close to the line as they can possibly be with like the EU regulations on this sort of stuff. Yeah, this one's for Habitat for Humanity, so they've linked it at least to a charity. Couldn't tell you what percentage of the the sale the charity gets, but Rufus is pretty cool as doges go. Could do an option for a lower price without the charity donation. Pause. Oh, okay. The Lush Garden Decor Pack at least has some gnomes and some chocolate eggs you can plant. So, semi-Easter themed. Noblegarden themed. Large Starter Decor Pack. Yo, I've not explored all of this yet. Is that literally it? You get a whacking great big gazebo. 2 Spring Blossom gazebos. Plus 2,500 hearth steel to help you decorate the home of your dreams. Oh! 2,500 hearth steel is 25 euros worth of value. So you get 2 gazebos for 5 euros each. Interesting. Am I right in saying prices on those? Oh, you can buy garden gnome statues, fountains. Yeah. You can buy eggs for 10 cents a piece. Hey, if you're lucky, you'll be able to buy Cadbury's cream eggs for less than that IRL. Yeah, is it 25? Yeah. 2,500 hearth steels, 25 euros. Meaning the starter set. Not really much of a starter set, is it? You can buy some currency and they could for a starter set, they could at least give you the gazebos for free. They could at least give you the, you know. Luckily, I don't care about any of this. I kind of want the doghouse, though. I kind of want the dog in the doghouse. Because it comes with dog beds and it comes with water bowls. It's a not to be on Team Dog. I don't know. That distractions. That wasn't the distraction we were looking for. Yeah, this dude's done. Next character. Sorry, I'm hungry and so I've opened a bag of chips. I think my noise gate's active, so you probably shouldn't get any crunchiness. Right, next tune. Don't worry about the crunchiness. I have a guildie who crunches every single raid. I'm sure if that was the case, they'd get a swift kicking from the Discord. How does shop decor work? You buy the first one to unlock it and buy the rest in game. No, it's all from the shop. If you want 1 chocolate egg, you buy 1 chocolate egg. If you want 100 chocolate eggs, you buy 100 chocolate eggs. We yell at him and he stops for a bit. Oh no, I've gone to the wrong house again. I'll learn the layout of this city at one point. I haven't done it yet though. Right, I've got to remember this is my mage, so I actually need to do a bit more chocolate egg farming on this dude. I tell you what, with my newfound passion for being a little bit more casual in the game, not sweating out goal making every day, we might actually take a look at player housing at some point. Might actually. At least maybe considering collecting some of the decor, if nothing else.
I have exactly what you need. Hold your head high. Baladash Malinore.
Quack. Right, we need 100 chocolates on this dude, though. Shouldn't they take too long? They seem to basically hyperspawn. Raid leader's cool. Our guild leader not only crunches, yawns a lot. Oh, that's bad mojo. Why don't people just use... I suppose... yeah, why don't people just use push to talk? I get it. Everybody has 7,000 buttons on their mouse these days. Just use one for push to talk. That said, I very, very rarely spend much time in voice calls with anybody. I'm too old school about this. There's something about sitting in a voice call with people for hours on end that just feels weird for me. I'm still, when I use the phone, when I call somebody, it's partly a man thing. I'm gonna broadly stereotype here. I know it's very much a man thing, but I still have this kind of like I still have this clock ticking in my head every time I'm on the phone of like, this is costing me money. From back in the days where it genuinely did. Which makes the whole sitting in a voice call just seem weird to me. Probably why when I'm streaming, I'm nearly always talking. Not that I'm scared of dead air, but it just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Oh, I kind of forgot the Noblegarden chocolates were consumable. I need more of them still. He has returned? I took like 4 days off and people are acting like I went away for months. Welcome in though. Go back to Ogrimmar. Oh. We all thought you died a death, of course. Resurrected like Jesus, mate. Did a lot of work calls, love throwing in a few awkward silences while I'm training people. It is funny. Some people literally cannot handle silence. Like, they fall apart. For any of Team Finland lurking in stream right now, one big bit of praise I can give Team Finland is that they absolutely are more than comfortable in silence. And in fact, they're not only comfortable in silence, they demand silence most of the time. Which is quite refreshing compared to my homelands. Favorite streamers are the ones that interact with the viewers. Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I want to reiterate that I definitely get engaging with chat and keeping a discussion going and whatever. It's genuinely one of the reasons why I tend not to stream more than sort of like 3-4 hours at a go. Just purely on the basis that after about 4 hours, my voice is just cooked because I don't shut up. I have, to be honest, the big streamers out there that, you know, are frequently streaming 10 hours a day. I mean, for starters, that's not particularly healthy anyway, but I think you'll probably find that the vast majority of the time that they're streaming, they're not engaging with their chat. They're just sat playing a game, and every 2 minutes they'll look at the chat and, you know, make a passing comment. I can't imagine that you could actually, unless you're just a very naturally born talkaholic. Is talkaholic a word? I think so. Claiming it. Do you know if the plus skill in thorough tanning and the perception in gainful gathering work with majestic beasts? Once again, oh, well, actually, the majestic beasts, the majestic materials, no, because they're not a rare proc. So not something that can qualify to proc more. I don't believe. I'm sort of dubious about the benefit of perception in majestic hide skinning, full stop. I only go with it based upon the fact the skill tree gives you a shitload of perception while you're doing it. So I kind of led to believe it probably works. But I think it's mostly focused on the like the furs and the, you know, the green items. This spring flowers. What do you got that? Hello? Discover the white tuxedo shirt and the black tuxedo pants by... Oh, yeah, I've probably never done Noblegarden on... Chatterbox, Chatty Cath. Yeah, okay, they're probably better phrases than talkaholic. Makes more sense. Verbal diarrhea. I also learned to start with a person's name if I ask somebody a direct question, so they at least hear the question before they stumble because they weren't even listening. It's funny, you know, like, a lot of the world seems to forget that being able to talk reasonably well... Oh my god, quick, get the tag. It's not a given that people can even remotely communicate. I've always tended to think that I'm not too bad at it. Probably why I enjoy streaming. Why I had a reasonably good career in sales. Because I've never really found much of any difficulty talking to people. As crazy as that sounds. That said, when it comes to small talk, I am absolutely dog shit. I'm terrible at it. I'm actually Finnish in that regard. I don't fit my natural heritage, you know. When it comes... Oh, hang on. Which one of these do I need? Oh, it says I know the brown duck disguise. Oh, yeah, because I got that out of one of the bags, didn't I? Pink and yellow.
Our enemies will fall. Remember the sun well.
Go on, odds on this giving me the yellow one. Do it. Oh, you shitting me? You gave me the pink one again. Can I not get a Can I refund? Can I change my mind? Ah, oh, you son of a... Damn you, son of a gun. Right, well, I need 100 chocolates on this dude either way. Should have saved the game. Yeah, should have saved. Just on the story mode, March, it was easy. Race to World First made it look so hard. Bunch of slackers, them lot. What do you mean it took them 14 days to kill a raid? Bunch of amateurs. People cannot read and cannot listen. Please tell me what colour the grass is. They respond, sure. What do you want to know about the grass? I know this is a real cop-out, but I've always kind of thought that it's maybe the reason why I'm not too good at learning other languages. Because I so heavily rely on my communication skills, which I feel are pretty good in English. But I can bet, you know, I feel as if I'm going so, you know, I don't feel as if, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably a cop-out, but... I mean, the other reason I'm not particularly good at learning other languages is because I'm also very, very, very bad at having any desire to actually do it. Which, based on our early conversation, maybe I need a deadline. Learning languages isn't a talent, it's just way easier when you're young and directly correlated to your musical ear. Yeah, I'm greatly envious of basically everybody in this country that learns almost 3 languages by default. 2 languages minimum. Like, my entire wife's family is fluent in at least 3 languages. All of them. And some of them, just for shits and giggles, add a 4th on top of that. And I'm like, Jesus. Once again, there's dum-dum with, you know, just English. My British friend says we didn't conquer half the world to speak their language. Yeah, we just stole all of their culture instead. Yeah, not exactly a great record currently. The only saving, like, it was the only saving grace for the United Kingdom, the only saving grace for England of Donald Trump being elected president of United States is that it took the focus off Brexit being the most stupid decision ever made in history. He lives up to his name and has trumped the entire world in levels of stupidity. No politics. There's enough fucking wacky politics going on at the moment. We don't need to get too involved in that. So Dutchy learned English and German early on and then French in school. Pretty bad at it though. Tried learning Spanish and even tiny bit of Japanese. Flipping out. Yeah, see, that just blows my mind. Actually blows my mind. And weirdly, right, it's not that the UK education system, it's not for a lack of trying. I don't know how it stands these days, but learning or attempting to at least learn either French or German, I think Spanish was an option. But during secondary school, which maybe is already too late, but during secondary school, it was mandatory to be learning at least one other language. Not that it did any good, mind. But I also am pretty critical on how they teach English in England. Hence, to this day, why I believe I just cannot spell to save my life. It's because we were never taught grammar. Literally never. We were given a list of words and told to memorize how to write them down. Like, that was the extent of our teaching of grammar, it felt. So hence I didn't do very well at it. Any idiot can quickly, short-term, remember something for the purpose of doing well on it, though. German and French were mandatory. But I lived close to the German border. We went on vacation camping in Germany or France every year. I think there is definitely something to say about that. The fact that throughout most of Europe, you are physically connected to other lands. Stupid England, being tiny little country in the middle of the sea, kind of right. We'll ignore like Welsh as a language for a minute, but like for the most part, there was no I don't think I was even exposed to another language until like my teenage years. If you didn't come from an affluent family that vacationed abroad every year, like I, never once in my early life had any exposure to any other language at all ever. And so, so maybe when it came to learning French or German or something, I was like, what is happening here? Like, I could count on one hand the amount of times I'd ever even heard somebody speak another language, really. Excluding me, I mean, I guess there's quite many pockets of different cultures in the UK these days. To where some foreign tongue might slip in, but certainly I was more likely to, I was more likely to be interested in picking up flipping Punjabi or something than I was flipping French or German. No offense, France or Germany. Learning French and German just never seemed to make any sense. Watching Thunderbirds in English since I was 4. Thunderbirds are cool, man. I used to love the Thunderbirds. We had English in primary schools, but also helped that there was no dubbing on the cartoons. Yeah, that probably makes a world of difference, doesn't it? That's what I mean about, like, exposure to another. My brother-in-law, always to this day, I mean, he is, like, more than fluent in English. He pretty much puts heavy emphasis on him watching, like, kids' cartoons in the morning as the reason why his English is so good to this day. Because even in Finland, 30 odd years ago, any cartoons, there was maybe, a couple in Finnish, but a lot of them were English cartoons. I had an infection that kept me off school for 3 months. Mum took it upon herself to teach me. By the time I went back, I was reading actual novels. Didn't understand most of the content, but could read it. My classmates were still on Peter and Jane early reader books. I always remember being able to... I never remember a point where I couldn't read. So much so that I pretty much remember being able to, like, properly read and write before going to school, which I'm not sure if that was normal. But my mum never worked. She was always responsible for looking after me. So maybe she took the time to teach me. Fun fact, I could probably type before I could read and write properly as well. My uncle was a IT university professor back in the day. Like back in the day where computers weren't fancy adult Lego, where you actually had to know your shit about how to do things. Which meant that I always had like one generation old university computer from like basically the, you know, as soon as I could walk. I could program in DOS probably before I could even go to school, which was kind of wild when you think about it. Is this enough of these now? 77, not quite enough. There's a dwarf children's series from the same writer as those. That is many words I do not understand. Confusing because the distributor was Bruner. The writer of Miffy was Dick Bruner. I'm not even sure I'm not being memed on here. I think I'm having a stroke. That's one of those scenarios where I understand the words, but I don't understand the sentence. Clearly, I'm uneducated in that area. 5 more chocolates. 5 more chocolates. Helga, how we doing? Welcome in. Good. Are we afternoon yet? We are afternoon. Hope we're well. Oh, I saw you figured out your inventory problem, by the way. Is that screenshot you DM'd me the whole story? $101. There we go. Beautiful. Now, where do we get this rabbit from? Noblegarden vendor. Give me a rabbit. You still sell the Noblegarden bunnies? You can actually. Probably not worth farming up too many more of these. Sale average of only 5k a piece. 200 chocolates is clearly not worth doing. Okay. Now then, we should need a yellow duck disguise. 1 yellow duck disguise, and that should be the whole shebang. Yeah. 1 alt, 1 yellow duck disguise, and then we're good. Let's also do the sensible thing and delete all of this random rubbish. Rabbit for dinner? I don't know if I've ever eaten rabbit, you know? I can't think of a time where I'd have ever have eaten rabbit. Tastes like chicken, easy to forget. Is it not like more gamey? I always think that chicken's a mastered art. Everybody knows how to cook a chicken. And I genuinely think they probably breed chickens in such an optimum way these days that they all taste the same. But rabbit feels like one of those things that people probably don't have that much practice cooking with. Unless you eat it in like a restaurant or something. Not everybody knows how to cook a chicken. They're not. Microwave, right? Okay, point proven. Oh, I had a shitload more chocolate eggs up here. Ah, Christ. I had a bunch of sneaky ones. I didn't need to spend so long farming them. Right, well, this dude can go back now. One more alt, one yellow duck disguise. Noblegarden will be complete. Until ATT does an update, because I have a sneaky suspicion there's newly acquirable thing. Does Wowhead have an article or something on this? They're usually quite good at popping up a something or other. Is there a new this year in Noblegarden kind of oh, count-wide duck disguiser colours in Noblegarden 2026. Oh, there we go. Any more for any more? One of the biggest reward changes has been the overhauling of the Duck Disguise toy, no longer requiring players to spend 6 years collecting colours one at a time per character. Colour variants are now account-wide, although early reports indicate you will have to reacquire them. The quest chains are very short and the colours now drop freely. Okay. Ah, yeah, here we go. In addition to the colours, Swift Bloom now drops pieces of the previously unused Spring Revelers Corn Silk set. That's why everybody's killing the big duck then. Chest belt boots, dress, sun hat, pants. Well, that might get, unless ATT has an update in the next couple of days, that might get categorized to next year's job. We'll just claim that ATT's complete. We don't update it, they'll never know. Few goodies from last week sold. Looks like I sold a few bolts before the crash. All this 133 gear. I need to throw this in the war bank, you know, and I need to spread this out. I'm not having much joy selling the 133 gear on my home realm, but it's just far too competitive. There's too many players. I could spread this out to some of the other realms, though, and probably sell some of this 133 gear at a pretty price. I've got a reasonable amount of it due to Setting up all the skinning characters. Have people been panic selling these then? People been panic selling the augment runes? How many skinners do you have now specifically for the Majestics? Between 40 and 50, I think. Oof, 30,000 augment runes available. I see me them all. This is another one of those scenarios where there's so many of them. People, and you can clearly tell these big chunks are likely where people have stocked up a bunch of them and are just like, right, I have to cut my losses. Everybody trying to cut their losses at the same time is just compounding the problem. Those who are cherry picking them for weeks on end at like 1,000 gold a piece either are having to sell them at a loss or are maybe going to see more value in holding out till season 2 with them. But there's clearly some people who have pretty big inventories of these runes. It's been at 50k. It's gone down the last few days. Has it really? I'm not sure where the extra supply of these is going to have come from, though, really. Do we think there's just way more emphasis on people doing patron orders? Weekly housing quest that gives you a choice of crests also rewards 3 augment. Yeah, but no fucker's taking the augment runes. Don't be silly. Nobody that's doing that quest is taking the augment runes. Plus, it's a warbound quest that, so it's like literally once per week. This might be one of the, you know, the augment runes, or at least the value of the augment runes, might end up being one of those caught in the crossfire of 300 2-0 armies. Yeah, you might be right. $220 gear from the treasures is making bank. Yeah. That's not going anywhere either, I don't think. I think that market will hold value throughout most of the expansion. That depends what they do with catch-up gear in the next patch, but I still think that 220 gear has got legs. The 220 gear will hold out at least for the entirety of this patch. Might just be a waiting game till season 2. Might just be a waiting game because you also got to remember season 1 is all about professions for a lot of people, but think just how many people by season 2 have completely given up that game. We'll see what happens with concentration values. If they go in the direction I suspect they will, because all of the base materials are just going to crunch to 0, then if it aggressively slows down the amount of people that are doing logging in to do concentration, that will probably also aggressively slow down the amount of people doing patron orders. And if we think that's the main supply of these augment runes, there could just be 3 or 4 times more of them than players were expecting this season. But maybe it's throw them in the guild bank, try and forget about them until next season, see if it rebounds next season. I mean, let's be real, you get 3 goes at it, so, you know, if you're not happy with the price they are now, unless you have invested with gold that you are desperate to get back, which I always suggest against, but you do get 3 goes at the augment rune market if you start early. Even when we see the perma rune in season 3, that doesn't really seem to have much effect on the price of the on-use one. Usually because they try and what was it, 100,000 gold for the perma rune last expansion. They seem to put the price of that thing up every time. Right, one more ult to do ducks. One more duck season. Well, army, 15-ish characters. I have hundreds and hundreds of augment runes. They literally fall from the sky. Maybe supply just is higher.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
Yo! 5-month streak, 9-month resub. Thank you very much, Helg. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Noblegarden. Go, go, gadget, go. But yeah, I wouldn't like I said, unless you've spent 90% of your gold stupidly investing in augment runes, I wouldn't worry about purging them right now. If we are led to believe that there's just like they're far easier to get due to patron orders right now, I'd just, you know, hold your ground if you can. Throw them in the wall, but throw them in the guild bank, throw them in a war bank, whatever. Try again season 2. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I might even go as far as to stop selling the ones I get from patron orders and just throw them in the war bank. It might be one of those nice, happy surprises in 6 months' time when I forget I've been doing it. It's that time of the week again. Your deeds glorify me. You shall be benevolently rewarded in abundant kind. I found all the voice lines for those on Wowhead and downloaded a bunch of them. I was going to turn them into alerts. I just never got around to doing it because I inadvertently stopped playing the game for a few days and took a break. Yeah, it is Dun Day again. I didn't do any Dun in last week though, so we'll see how many Duns we do this week. Feed them into an AI and bring back your AI assistant. Ask Dun. That would actually be quite funny. That'd be quite clever, actually. That's almost too clever for me. Gasp, no puppies. I'll give you a phone camera on the old puppies, because she's lurking. Lambs. Hello. How you doing? What are you up to? You watching? Watching for squirrels? Yeah. Good girl. Oh, I don't know where the other one's gone. Oh, the other one's probably lying in the kitchen. How much hair does the dog leave on the couch? Enough that I need to hoover the sofa flipping almost every time I want to sit on it. There comes a point where you've got 3 Lapland long-haired dogs where you just kind of start ignoring the fluff. I have 3 6-kilogram dogs and my vacuum cannot keep up. Now, I would actually point out, though, that the dogs drop significantly less fur than most people assume. They don't actually drop their floof like all year round. Like Labradors, for example, even though they're short-haired dogs, are just permanently losing their, like, changing their coat, like permanently. The in-laws have 2 chocolate Labradors, and their flaws are worse than mine with 3 super fluffy Lapland dogs all the time, because the Labradors are just permanently changing their coat. And of course, they're 40-kilo dogs, but like, it's actually way worse. But my dogs, when they lose their fluff, they change their whole undercoat, and they do it quite quickly. When that happens, yeah, it's like a daily fur storm. And now with 3 of them, it's going to be just permanent. But yeah. $17. Need a few more. Oh, who kicked off a hype train? Welcome in, Choo Choo. My little, when I was having my OBS stream-related issues, I switched off my Choo Choo train and I lost the link to it. I need to reset that back up again. I liked my goblin train. That's why the upper class likes poodles with marble floors. But yeah, because they don't really drop the fur in the same way. My Labrador sheds its hair twice a year for 6 months before Christmas and 6 months after. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they change their coat only twice a year, but it takes 6 months to do it. And actually, my dogs don't even take huge amounts of brushing either. For that reason, you would look at them and think that you must be like brushing the damn things 3 hours a day, but most of the year they're pretty low maintenance, to be honest. It's just that that 4 week period where they change their coat completely. That it's just a snowstorm. I mean, I've probably got. Let me. I can show you a couple of scenarios where I've brushed the dog's fluff when they're in like real fluff mode, and it's kind of ridiculous when it happens. Let me see if I can. I basically get like a free dog when they lose their fluff. When was the last time? Nipsa was the last one that lost her coat. She did it just before winter turned up, which was really stupid. Oh, I can't find the image. Maybe I didn't take a photo of it the last time. Maybe it was the time before. Yeah, it does mean that if they when they are losing their fluff, they're for the most part, that's the only period of time where they're not allowed on the sofa. Because otherwise it's just permanent. Here we go. No, stop flipping changing the image. So you can kind of see what it's like when when the dogs lose their fluff and they get brushed. It's kind of pretty wild how much fluff comes off one dog. Just to prove that she is alive. The amount, like, you literally get a second dog off them. Nipsa enjoys it though. She just lies there and gets brushed. She's chilling. But yeah, humongous amounts of fluff. Buy one, get one free deal. Start with one dog and make a new one from the fur every year. You probably could. Excuse me. Oh, we're going to need to put ATT on, aren't we? Reloads. No, the dogs don't drop majestic hides, although I wish they did. Farm some of those for free. Oh my god, frame rate. And we're good. Just in time. While token price is making its way back up again, I don't think it will go down again from now on. I think the cheapest I saw it was 308, I think. I don't know what it's at now. Uh, 310. I mean, it fluctuates by like 5 to 10,000 gold a day anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're... That 300 mark's a psychological barrier though, isn't it? That's kind of like, as soon as it gets close to that, people are like, right, that's the point where I won't cash out. And it only takes a few people to cash out a bunch of tokens for it to push the price back up again. Which is why it's kind of, I think at this point in the EU, it's basically never going to ever drop below 300. I mean, what do you think they could possibly do in game that would ever incentivize that many people to all buy gold with their credit card at the same time? Like that, they'd have to put like, they'd have to reinstigate, you know, even if they switched on the longboy again. Like, there's enough people that have got the pay to win one now, so they'd have to do something pretty wild, I think, to give people a good reason to buy a whole bunch of gold in one go. Sell a dino mount that does Mythic Plus by itself. Portal mount. I think that'd sell like hotcakes, wouldn't it? Or one that drops raid loot. They turn World of Warcraft into one of those idle RPG games instead. Where you don't play it, you just watch it play itself. There'll be another one for sure to boost some quarterly numbers in an in case of emergency box. Yeah, they don't have that many aces up their sleeve though now, do they? There's not that many. I mean, they've done a re-release of the Mage Tower. They gave everybody access to a Longboy again. They've done player housing. There isn't really that many more. There isn't really that many more things on OG players' bucket list, is there really? Dance Studio and Aerial Combat. Was the Dance Studio on the... Was it on the TBC box art? Or was it the Cataclysm box art? I remember it from that sort of era, I think. To this day, I think only one of the only features that was heavily suggested that it was coming with an expansion that then never did. Wrath of the Lich King, maybe. Yeah, it was on the box art for one of the early expansions, wasn't it? God, I'm old.
You think you can wing this? Here's today's weather forecast.
Right, kill this dude, though. Go get our yellow duck disguise. And until ATT gets an update, we will be able to say that Noblegarden is 100. Dino with the auction house, a repair Mog crafting table. After they did the Longboy, I heavily suspected that with just how well received the Longboy was, I always thought that they would give engineering a T-Rex mount. And I think they've wasted that opportunity. I think they wasted the T-Rex. Now, Florendo, very, very, very cool mount. Don't get me wrong. Incredible mount. But I think they wasted it on having it be a flipping raid renown path reward. I think that's such a waste of and what could easily have been like one of the most iconic mounts in the game. And the fact that they didn't give it to engineers to make is criminal.
Our enemies will fall. We will have justice.
Get rid of that. We got the yellow duck disguise from the flipping thing as well. Okay. I guess there's some bad luck protection in this then. Boom! Noblegarden, 100%. Spring Reveler's turquoise belt. Oh, already known. Oh. Well, that's a shitter. Oh, alright. Right, let's do this last duck quest, because I can't remember what this is for. Get it out the quest log. Flight Master's whistle. Yeah, that could bring in some cash money, couldn't it? I'm amazed they took that out of the game, you know. That was like the Flight Master's whistle was a real fun detected situation. Felt real fun detected, that one. The whole thing with flipping world quests in general. Kind of, we've had world quests as a end game loop for so long now, it feels. When was world quests was Legion? The Legion they first were added? And they've leaned on world quests in somewhat shape or form for, what's that now, 5 expansions, 6 expansions? Without really changing it up much. They've always they've tried to give a little bit of flavour. Obviously we had Callings, for example, which was just basically, please go do some world quests and we'll give you a bonus box. And they even took those away. Now we got Prey, which is kind of half meant to be wombo comboed with doing world quests, even though you can completely ignore it if you want. What about the Flight Master's whistle? Well, fun detected in terms of the fact that they took it away, or did not continue its use. People love their flight whistle, being able to just, you know, quickly get back to a flight point. Probably less needed these days because dragon riding is so quick, but no, not the Flight Masters. There used to be an item in the game called the Flight Master's whistle, which was an item that you could carry around, and when you used it, it would teleport you to the nearest Flight Master, and then you could use the Flight Master to go somewhere. It was just a nice little quality of life thing for whilst you're out doing world quests or something. You're in the arse end of nowhere, you could quickly use your whistle and then take a Flight Master back to the capital city or something. And it was, you know, very, very useful. And a lot of people were very disappointed when we moved on from that expansion and they didn't have it anymore. Okay. I have done all of the Noblegarden stuff I wanted to do today, which is cool. I'm in real concern of maybe thinking about a chore list, which is exactly what I want to avoid. I do want to double check to see if Muthius has anything in his bags, though, mind. Since he's been responsible for selling all of the skinning stuff, I don't think I'm going to bother doing any skinning. I actually think I'm going to stop eating these chips and go and eat some proper food. And with the sun being out for the first time in 6 months, I might even head outside for a bit. A few bits and pieces. Casual 70k. Don't mind if I do. See, I do sell an occasional piece of this, like 133 gear. But Draenor is such a big server, I clearly get undercut on all of this, and the competition on it is just way too steep. How much gold does Muthius have on him now? Over 6 mil. It's not bad, you know. Now, I wasn't making cash money off the hides from the very, very early part of the expansion, where it was just like absolutely silly money. But my little skinning adventure alone has net me like 6 mil. And excluding, obviously, the time to set it up, you know, that's come in at like between, I don't know, that's like 2 weeks worth of skinning. 6 mil. Can't really argue. It's not bad at all. Did you stop skinning? I mean, I haven't played the game in like 4 or 5 days last week, so excluding that time. But yeah, I think I'm going to go get me some food and take it easy for the afternoon, boys and girls. Thank you very much for stopping by today. I do try. I am going to try put some more effort into taking the you know the min maxiness, the sweat out the stream a little bit. Farming up a bunch of stuff should be relatively casual. I need to forget about the fact that grinding gold, there's no finish line when you consider gold making. So I need to, you know, rein it in a little bit and, like, you know, stop being quite so degen and sweaty about it. Then we can enjoy the game a bit more and have a bit more fun. But boys and girls, it's reset day. If you are making that coin in the auction house, best of luck with your undercuts. Best of luck with your listings. Good luck with your vaults if you haven't opened them already. I'm going to go get me some food, chill out for a little bit. I might be online later this evening, but I wouldn't expect a bonus stream today. I'm going to get back into it casually. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Come say hi on the Discord if you haven't already. And finish line is factories. Oh, don't get me started on factories. We'll end up playing Factorio. But yeah. Anyway, have a good day, boys and girls. Been a good one. See you next time. Peace.